joined us. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV time to get engaged with the Minerals Commission of Ghana. And the CEO, Mr. Martin Ayisi, is here with me, as always, in the studio. Good morning, Martin.
Morning.
How are you? I'm good. Are you?
Fine.
By the special grace of God, we're doing well.
I love that.
Yes. So last week, we got into how the Ghanaian, or for that matter, anybody who wanted to get into the support services in the mining sector could get involved, or what we want to call even the local content. So we went through that. You took us through some of the requirements, especially for the Class A services, where we dealt with contract mining for large-scale surface and underground construction and management of tailings, storage facilities, mineral assaying services, mining consultancy services, mineral exploration services, including drilling, supply of mining equipment and spare parts, manufacturing of explosives, fabrication stroke manufacture of mining equipment and accessories, air haulage, healthcare services on mine sites, and civil works, including construction of office buildings and other structures. Now, there are classes B and C. Can we start off with classes B and C? And then if we have time, we'll go back to look at the local content list and try and look at the level of local participation, and of course, also focus on those that are exclusively reserved for Ghanaians. Okay, so let's start off with Class B and C.
Randy,
first of all, why have you classified them?
I'll come to the classes.
Okay.
But you do the public a lot of service.
Right.
If they upload all the list solely for Ghanaians.
We will do that.
As we do the discussion.
We'll do that.
I'll talk about. But Randy, now you have become an expert on issues relating to mining policies.
I'm learning.
But I've been disappointed on one issue.
Okay.
The NDC and NPP people that come here to discuss all the policies, I've never seen you discussing what ideas they have on mining.
The time will come.
Because sometimes you just pick issues that are topical or public interest, and then for 30 minutes, both sides are discussing.
We'll be
now,
getting to...
Now you know all the in and out of Galamsey.
We'll be getting into the policy specific. So we'll be getting there soon. Yes, and we have
or maybe I become the host.
We actually have a
session on mining,
a special program, which is, and I don't want to give the details yet because we'll officially outdoor it, and then you'll get to know that. So it's coming.
All right.
Yes.
Randy. Yes. Your first question. The classes. Why do we have A, B, and C? Very simple. We realize that there are three issues at play here. One, whether we like it or not, you might pardon my language. You cannot deny or take away the fact, wherever you are, in Ghana or any jurisdiction where mining is taking place, that there are certain communities or group of people who bore the brunt of the mining operations more than any other group.
Yes.
I will explain. So, if you come to my community, for example, where I come from, we are beginning to see some mineral occurrences. And then the deputies are such that you need to relocate, let's say, maybe 2,000 out of the 10,000 who are living there. It's just fair that you reserve some classes of jobs directly for the community. You understand that?
Yes.
And some of the things are so basic. That is not to say that those who don't come from the community can also carry out activities in A or B. Remember, I know the question people ask is that, why are you not discriminating? But Randy, the bulk of the royalties go to the Republic.
Yes.
And that's where it's for all of us. Do you understand that? The taxes and other receipts go to the state. So that's when the 30 million Ghanaians, benefit from. So we have decided that, look, Class C should be activities or services that should be restricted solely for persons who come from the community. And I'll tell you how they do it. Okay? So that is it. Then B are areas that have been reserved for Ghanaians, wherever you are. Once you're a Ghanaian citizen, you can enter. Then A is open. You know, you could be a citizen or you could be a foreign entity or persons who might come in and do it. And then with time, or over the period, as we improve on capacity, some items in A, okay, are dropped into B. That is it. So C, we hardly do anything about it because we know what the locals, what should be reserved for the locals. When we finish this segment, we'll wrap up and discuss maybe on 3 occasions the skills aspect when it comes to the employment proper. We'll discuss that perhaps in March so that we'll complete the whole issue. So basically these are the reasons. Areas that are open to foreigners and Ghanaians, areas that are strictly open to citizens of Ghana, wherever you come from, and then areas that are restricted solely to communities that are directly impacted. So these are the reasons. And then as capacity improves, we move some from A into B. That is it. So these are fundamentally the explanation for the categorization into classes A, B, and C, respectively.
Okay, so we looked at A last week. Let's try and look at B and C. So, under B, last week you made a point that the requirements for A and B are similar.
Are same. The difference, not even similar, they are the same.
Okay.
So, the same, you have to be a locally incorporated company, the usual VAT clearance, tax, SNIT, CV of your key personnel, business plan, mineral right holder, a contract with a mineral right holder or a comfort letter, if any, audited accounts, and then ability to demonstrate that you have a capacity to do it. The fundamental difference is just one,
which is
the fee. So those in class A pay the equivalent of 10,000 USD. It's annual. Those in B pay 6,000. So if you look at it,
but the other payments, the 250 and they are the same.
They are the same.
Whether A, B, or
C. Yes. And then there are certain stages, that you make the payment. So when you provide all those requirements, and then you go online, fill the form, you pay online. You pay $250, the equivalent. I have to be careful before the governor slaughters me because the currency is Ghana cedis, and then the processing fee is 500. So 750 the equivalent. You just upload it. Okay. Some also prefer to do bankers drive and then they upload it. We don't stop people from coming to our office to come and pay, even though we discourage that. So when the review is completed, and then we are satisfied that you've met all the requirements to be registered to provide a particular service, then we ask you to come and pay the registration fee. Then I get to sign off your registration letter for you. From 1st January to 31st December. It's calendar year. But normally, those who come in around, I'm sure you never asked that question, or perhaps you are now listening. If you come around November, normally when you come around November, we register in November. We'll tell you, we'll treat it as 2020.
But if I come June, it will still expire December 31.
Up to October.
It will still be December 31.
It will still be December.
31.
There's a suggestion from industry that why don't you do it anniversary rather than calendar year. I'm looking at that.
Okay.
Yes, I'm looking at that. So if you come in and register in November or December, it's just fair that we treat it as registration for 2025. But if you have a job somewhere in December, we can allow you to go and work. We'll give you a letter that the company will allow you to work. That is it.
I have a cousin who's in the IT space, Justice Ewa. After watching you over and over again, he's thinking of moving into the extractive space.
Everybody is coming into mining.
Yes.
I don't know why, since we started this program.
Yes. Anyway, so now...
It basically tells you what education can do. So it goes back to my first encounter with you. They are in some bush somewhere, they dig their stuff, they take it out raw, they pay only royalties, even small. Some decide to pay corporate tax. And that's all that people know about mining. With this, over a year plus education, and people are realizing, oh my God, even there are more billions in support services than the actual application to pick up a license to explore or mine. So that is it.
Okay. So now let's look at some of the Class B services. So contract mining services for small-scale mining, haulage services to and from mine sites, including the transportation of personnel, catering services, security services, supply of fuel.
Yes.
Is a Class B?
Yes.
Okay.
And then
a supply of lubricants.
Yes.
That's also Class B.
Yes.
Okay.
The $500 million, 2022, okay. 2023.
$500 million.
2022 report. Okay. If you add lubricants and fuel, you know, that's it.
$500 million.
Yes, that's about 12, 13 companies.
Okay. All right. So the things there are not quite many. Contract mining, small-scale mining, haulage services, catering services, security services, supply of fuel, supply of lubricants.
But I will want you to go to C.
Yes.
So that you see why. I mean, when viewers see the services in class.
So we are now going to C.
Yes.
Now, what are the requirements that make C, before we get into the particular service, what are the requirements that make C different from A and B?
Local. If I'm permitted to use
101%.
Yes. You have to come from a community. So
inside the community.
Yeah, you have to be. I mean, you have to come from there. Let me define this properly before we create a scenario or something that may become problematic. When it comes to the local, or the services are reserved from the community, it's not ethnicity. Because
is it residence?
Yes, once you live there. Because you see, you come to my community. I have, all kinds of tribes who are living there. So you find an Ewe, or you find a Ghana or a Kokomba, born bred in Rara. In fact, he's even second and third generation. You can't say he's a stranger. Okay. But he's even allowed to contest for election. He will meet that constitutional requirement of either you're a native or having come from there. You understand that? You find practically every tribe in my village.
So let me ask you. So I partly come from Abuabo. Achim.
Yes.
Or Dan Abuabo.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I live in Accra.
Yes.
Do I qualify?
You don't qualify.
Okay. Because I don't live there.
Because you don't live there.
Okay.
You don't live there.
Okay.
You understand that? You don't live there.
It is so it's for those who are residents.
You don't live there. So the person who lives there is impacted by the operation. It's not you who stays in Accra here.
Okay.
You understand that? But then there are other things that someone like you who come from Abuabo can benefit. So for instance, if they are looking for Director of Corporate Affairs and you are interested, you meet all the requirements. Maybe because your mother or your father comes from there, subject to you meet all the qualifications, they will hire you.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, there's always that joy when the indigenes see their people working in the mine.
Okay. So let's now go through the services. What is reserved for local? So supply of stationery, food items, etc.
So let me ask you a question.
Yes.
You want to leave Accra and go and supply whatever food items, basic items. Yeah, you remember, listen carefully. You see, the companies give out catering services. So maybe Newmont Achim will give a catering service to any Ghanaian who will meet their requirements. And then he's told essentially three things. One, those who will be doing who will be servicing who will be providing the necessary staff, okay? You have to get people to, do the cooking, serve the food and all those. You have to get them from the community.
Okay, so
that's one. Hang on, that's one.
Yes.
I just want you to know so that you get these food items thing. And then we tell them that as much as possible, buy the food items from the community. Because you see, the mining companies support, it's not everybody who can work in a mine. So sometimes they support the farmers.
So let's bring clarity on this issue. Under Class B services is catering services. So Class B is catering services.
Yes.
So myself, Randy, with a catering company, I qualify. If I am registered as Class B.
So wait.
Yes.
So Cardinal,
yes.
Azuma,
yes.
Goldfuss,
yes.
Newmont,
yes.
can advertise and say, I'm looking for caterers to provide food, dinner, breakfast, whatever, and snacks in between to 2,000 workers on site. That contract can only go to a Ghanaian company whose shareholders. Remember, Ghanaian company doesn't mean that shareholders and so a Ghanaian company where all the shareholders and directors are Ghanaians.
Yeah.
They normally advertise, or they will ask for our list, and then we give it to them. Okay. We don't influence the process. Okay. So you can have a catering company. You are the sole shareholder, or with your wife, you win the contract.
So I qualify.
Yes.
Under B to bid for and win a catering services contract.
Yes, but when you win,
yes,
the 60 or so workers that you use for providing your catering services must come from the community.
So as a Class B service provider, so certified by the Minerals Commission, I qualify to bid for this contract and to win. However, when I'm successful by the rules, when it comes to the food items, the staff, those who are going to work there, I am under obligation to procure that from the area.
Yes, from the community. And let me ask you a simple question. Randy, so your company has won a contract to provide catering service to Cardinal, and then you need about 40 people to help you in serving the food.
And I'm bringing them from Accra.
To serve the food.
Yes.
I mean, maybe GSS graduates.
Yes.
Sometimes even SS. Okay, you just have to provide some kind of working gear for them to dress properly. You want to carry people from Accra or Rara. The community will protest.
When there are people who are qualified and can be trained.
Yeah, what is extraordinary about that? Maybe 1,000 or 600 Ghana a month with all the statutory payments for them. So he sees there, he realizes that people have come from other communities and then they are being employed to sell food. Or the farmers there are producing certain kinds of products, they are not buying, the caterer goes to buy them from some other area. You understand?
So you can only go out if there isn't any.
Yes.
Okay.
And then you can hire one or two special, people as a chef because of the
skill involved.
Skill.
Okay. So still on Class C services, which is 101% local.
Yes.
Weeding, grassing, reshaping, cutting, trimming of hedges, mowing and fencing services.
Yes.
So this one, the locality.
Yes. So you may have about 50 bungalows. Okay, that have senior staff. Then they say they want to give it out as a contract. They will have to give it to a local person who will be responsible for managing those places.
Cleaning, painting, and disinfection fumigation services.
Basic.
Rubbish collection, emptying of sewages, and other sanitary services.
Basic.
Physical training, gym training, and swimming instructors.
Yes.
So unless the community doesn't have people with this skill,
then we are allowed.
Okay. Provision of local security, local patrol, neighborhood watch services by local opinion leaders.
Yes.
Local health education services.
Now don't mix the two.
Yes.
Again, yes. So you see, security services is in Class B.
Yes.
So Nimon to say, I want you to come and provide security at the mine. Okay. So again, your security company wins a contract. The people, like if you go to the mall, you see the way they are dressed, or even here at the entrance, I saw your security person. That person must come from the community.
Yeah. So recruit from the community.
You recruit from the community.
And train them.
Yes. And then beyond the mine proper, sometimes the community will say, look, I need some special security to patrol beyond our because you see, those people are often serve as deterrents to Galamsey. Do you understand? And that one, you have to give it to a local person.
Minor maintenance services, example, plumbing, electrical fittings, etc.
So go and bring a plumber from Accra to come and fix plumbing stuffs in Achim. How? Do you understand? And even where it is a massive thing, okay? You understand? So let's say the new mines that are coming up now, they are building a lot of bungalows and whatever. They need to put in plumbing stuff. You have to get the.
So for this Class C services, what are the requirements for registration?
Very basic.
Okay.
Now, Randy, the way things are being organized in this country, some things have become basic now. I mean, VAT, tax clearance certificates, NEET, very basic. Some of the services we may require bank statement or CV, not all of them. Okay, I mean, why will you ask a plumber to give you a CV? Sometimes you may not even be able to write. So for somebody who will be providing plumbing services, all that, and it could be an individual or a company. And sometimes some of the local plumbers are very well organized. So it could just be an individual, and their names are there, okay, registered with Newmont. So his name is there. Newmont will say, oh, okay, we need 4 or 5 plumbers to come and fix this thing for a week or 2. Then they will call you. That's it. But some things are basic, like what we are reading about the Ghana card now. You know, practically we get into a situation where without Ghana card, they don't even accept passport. They will tell you Ghana card. So those are some of the things. And look at their fee. So
how much?
Oh, it's just about. I think that page is missing. But when you convert it, it's not more than 2,000 Ghana cedis.
Do they also have to pay the $250 and all those things to register?
We have waived processing for them.
So they don't pay any processing
They don't pay processing.
Okay.
And then I think it's about $50 or so.
So what do? They also go to your website?
They do it online.
Yes, they also go to your website.
They are the ones that, even if they put in an application, they don't have to wait for the registration.
Okay.
The Class C people.
Okay.
That is an innovation or something that I have instituted.
Are they
like come and fix? Oh, there are some electrical stuff. Electrician, you call some electrician from the community.
Or there's a sink which is leaking.
Yes, and then he has to come and fix it. I mean, a week, 2 weeks, he's chasing his registration. No. Once he lodges the application, that's it. Okay. And they even go to our district offices to do it, or they can do it on their mobile phone. Okay. And then he doesn't need to wait for the MINCOM approval.
But whichever way, he or she must be registered with the commission.
Yes, because, Randy, why do we do registration? 3 reasons. 1, you want to see, but for mining, how many people are being employed. Okay? So mining comes to your village. We have the direct. The ones that, the figures that the mining companies provide are those who are on their payroll. Then you have the people who have been employed by the contractors who provide all these services we are talking about. Then Randy, the community that also do all these services. So when we get up and we say in a particular mining community, it supports about, let's say, 10,000 livelihoods. That's what we mean. Do you understand? So then the argument is that, but for that particular mining operation, these 10,000 people will perhaps maybe doing something else. That's the only way you can quantify. And then when they start talking about GDP and all those contributions, the statistical service. So we give that data to Ghana Statistical Service. We collect it, give it to Ghana Statistical Service, and then they use it to prepare the data. So when the Minister of Finance or the various ministers come and read or provide certain information to the public in Parliament, this is where the data comes from. That is it.
All right.
That's 1. And then 2, taxation.
Yes.
Yes, taxation. You want to know how many people pay taxes. Besides the official receipts like royalties and then corporate income tax that are paid by the mining companies. So also for tax purposes. That's it.
All right. Okay. So now let's go to the meat itself, issue of the local content. How many Ghanaian companies are registered?
So I have the data here. Randy, as at 31st, I'll give you the data for as at 29th February. In my next, in my next encounter with you, I'll give you those who are in good standing as at 29th February. Okay? I think I'll do it every quarter. So by the end of 2023, that is as at 31st December 2023, in all, we have registered 371 companies. 371. Randy, bear in mind, these are not entities that have been given license to explore or mine. Okay? These are companies or entities that provide various support services, which we shall put on the screen shortly. 371. Now, out of the 371, Class A, 307.
Yes.
307. Class B, 13. Class C, 16. In fact, Class C is almost getting to about perhaps 200. But the 16 here is those who are fully registered. Remember, I made some introductory remarks by saying that for us, Class C, once you submit the application, we give you the permission to go and start work.
Yeah.
And so the figures I'm giving you are those who are fully registered. So 307 companies were registered to provide Class A services, 13 Class B services, 16 Class C. Now, that is 2023. Now, 371, out of the 371, 338 renewed. So it means that 338 companies that were registered in 2022 renewed their registration in 2023. And then 75 were new. So it means there were 75 new companies or entities that were registered last year to provide all kinds of services. Next time I come, I'll tell you, for example, the 307 or 307, I'll give you the breakdown. For example, fuel, lubricant, support services.
I find something quite curious. I thought that the category C would rather have thousands of persons.
I have several thousands. But this figure here are those who are fully registered. Okay. That is those who have been issuing the MINCOM registration certificate. Remember, I made a statement that if somebody living in Obuasi, okay, sends an application online and he says he's a plumber, they've asked him to come and carry out some 2-3 weeks job at Obuasi, he doesn't need to wait for our certification. We will permit him to go and work. So I can tell you in my records or in the records of Minerals Commission the number of persons who have lodged applications for Class C and who have been permitted to go and work. I can give you that figure next week.
Okay.
Right, but the 16 here you see are those who have been fully registered.
But what would be the motivation to fully register? If I can understand why you waive a lot of things for them, but then on the flip side, would that also not be a demotivation to fully comply?
No, Randy, data and then tax purposes. Randy, let's be honest with ourselves. You have just been called, you are like plumber, or they'll say bricklayer, plumber, and then Newmont calls you. Newmont Achim calls you. You live in Adesina, or Shekwai. Okay, these are the communities there. Then he says, oh, Kwabnaja, come. I'm going to give you this. We're constructing a fence wall or this. I want you to come and do this. This is just a 2-week job or even a 1-week job. It is just perhaps 30,000 Ghana or even 10,000 Ghana. You understand that? You want him, and look at the thousands of applications. And you suppose they will tell him start the work next week. Okay? You want him to wait for his registration. They are the ones who create problems for us. So all that he needs is to just register online. That's all.
So the proof.
Sometimes even we don't want them to even walk to the nearest district office because they may not even have the money. When they call us, we'll ask them, send your details to us. We'll do it for you. And then we'll send an email to the company. Yes, or we'll ask you, go and write your name at the company. So the companies have the list.
How are you able to determine that they have the expertise, or you leave that with the company?
No, the companies do that. Okay. I mean, at the pan attorney, Randy, if you say you're a tailor, even the way you cut the cloth alone will expose you. You understand? Because there may be 20 plumbers on the list of Newmont Achim in the various communities. Okay, if you take a half like this, there are 17 communities. So if they give you the job, you're not able to do it, or you're an electrician, you fix the thing, then they are getting electrical shocks or whatever. Next time they'll call the other person. You understand that? Yes. So that's how it works.
Okay. So now let's try and wrap up on this show with what I think is extremely important. And for our viewers, we are zeroing in on the goods and services that are strictly reserved for Ghanaians.
Across board.
So it must be a Ghanaian company with 100% Ghanaian shareholders.
And directors.
And directors. Am I correct?
Yes.
So it must be a Ghanaian company, so a company registered in Ghana. And it must have only Ghanaian shareholders and directors. So we're going to go through this. And please listen carefully and watch carefully, because it's also going to run on your screen. It's going to scroll on your screen as well. So first item, general lubricants, overalls and work clothes, haulage services.
You need to be patient because they are taking us through the write-up or the briefs.
Yes.
So
because we dealt with that last week.
So you don't need to go through that,
Yes.
except that the person is controlling things behind the scenes.
Just move to the next page with the red, yes, this one. So you see on your screen, general lubricants. So we are now looking at the goods and services that are restricted for, exclusively for Ghanaian companies. So a company registered in Ghana.
You can stop there.
With Ghanaian directors and shareholders. So you can hold on here for us. We have the first 8. The first 8. So just hold on here for us, the first 8. So here we have general lubricants, overalls and work clothes, haulage services, catering services, security services, legal services, placement of insurance to reinsurance services.
You wait. I want to make a few comments.
Okay.
Some of the things are straightforward.
Right.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll be asking, why do you have legal services?
Yes.
One day we found out that you might have somebody who might come in as, the person may be a lawyer, but for some reason they will say, oh, he's in charge of compliance. And then we'll discover that he's carrying out legal services. So that is what prompted us to say that all non-technical roles should be eliminated. We don't want the expatriate. The next 3-4 segment will get into the skills proper.
Yes.
So that's why we have the legal services there. And then the 7 is the insurance. Look at it carefully.
Yes. It says that placement of insurance to reinsurance service strictly incorporated in Ghana with a minimum of 20% Ghanaian directors and shareholders increased from a minimum of 20% under 4th edition to a minimum of 60% under 5th edition.
So in 2022,
yes,
20%. But now in 2023, it's 60%. Very soon we'll get to 100. Let me explain. So it simply means that, by law, all the mining companies are supposed to insure, all the assets, including the workers and everything on site. And we are saying that at least 60% of the insurance placement, you should give it to insurance companies where the owners and the directors are exclusively Ghanaians. It's a matter of time. Perhaps in a year or two, no foreign insurance company can provide insurance services to the mining industry. I have to do that.
Let's add the 8th one, financial services. Okay.
And 8, I'm saying, is the one that is going to be very big soon.
The game changer.
Yes, because last week when I came here, I said the receipts from the sale of gold, 2023 was 7.6 billion.
Yes.
Take out small scale, because it is presumed it's for Ghanaians. If you take out small scale, which is about 2 billion, you are talking about 5.6 billion. This is sale of minerals. These are the receipts. We are saying that 60% of that, you should run them through the Ghanaian banks. So the likes of, we got the list from the governor of the central bank. I'm not the one to tell.
Right.
I wrote saying, look, I want.
They are the regulator.
Yes. So the likes of Car Bank, Agri Development Bank, NIB,
GCB,
Ghana Commercial Bank, and CBG, and these are the Ghanaian banks. So 5.6 billion, you even say $3 billion just circulating through the. So you bring the money, and then you can pay your workers and provide all the services through that. So that will be bigger than contract mining.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So contract mining is here, number 10. If we move to the next page, number 10. I want us to do up to number 10.
So you see number 9 is quite particular.
Contract mining surface operations.
Yes.
Strictly incorporated in Ghana with exclusive Ghanaian directors and shareholders.
Then look at 10.
Contract mining underground. Strictly incorporated in Ghana with a minimum of 30% Ghanaian directors and shareholders.
So Obuasi and then Newmont.
And it's now been increased to 40%.
40.
Okay.
20, 30, now 40.
Okay.
It's a matter of time. When we get the technology, we'll make it 100%. Okay. We can even allow a Ghanaian to take it, and then he can also get expertise from outside. Okay. You can have technical advisors.
Okay. So 11 is fuel, exclusive.
Yes, my favorite.
12, drilling surface operations. That's also exclusive.
Then drilling underground. Some reservations there for Ghanaians. Okay. It's also a matter of
You've
time.
Increased it to 40%.
Oh, yes.
From 30.
There's a company called, what do you call it, Westfield. It has an underground drilling contract.
Okay. So 14, civil works. That's also strictly Ghanaian.
Yes.
Geophysical,
so now Azuma, Cadna and Co, lithium, all the construction, anything civil.
Ghanaian.
Yes, Ghanaian.
Geophysical ground-based survey, that's also exclusive.
Yes.
Ghanaian.
Yeah, basic.
Airborne-based survey, that's 30%.
Yes, because of the technology.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, those are even the equipment alone, you know.
Freight forwarding, strictly. Warehousing, strictly Ghanaian. Complete logistics services, strictly incorporated in Ghana. Oxygen generating plant and booster, 30%.
Yes. It's a specialized, I'll have to bring the pictures and then you see it.
Okay, ground engagement
So
tools.
20 and 21, we will need to show the pictures to the public.
Ground engagement tools, strictly Ghana. Hoses and fittings, strictly Ghana. Tailings support facility.
You stop there, and this is where we always have to celebrate.
Tailings support.
Oh, of course. Okay. It's millions of dollars. For example, that of Kaduna is about 30 something. It will bring 70 something million.
Dollars.
Yes, and after 2 years, you have to build a new one. Yes, because it will get full. Okay, so it's a lot of money. And I'm proud that you can now have about 4 or 5 Ghanaians who can do it.
Okay.
Yes.
So
last year, last year, it means that somebody will say, almost is here. Okay, we've working from
this is done by the Australians.
Oh, Australian South Africans. There's a company called the BBHO.
Yes,
and then Australian South Africans, many Australian and South Africans. Okay, once you have go to Ashanti and go through some South Africa, they'll bring them. We stop them.
When you go through these things, it sends me back down memory lane, the way engineers and planners suffered.
Yes.
I mean, going into bidding for contracts with all these Australian and South African firms and others. And when you have the mother company itself coming from those countries, and how difficult it was, because they will obviously favor the companies from their countries, even though you had the expertise.
Of course. So the only way to protect a Ghanaian is to say that this particular service or good, it can only go to a Ghanaian. Especially when I get 2 or 3. Yes.
Right.
One, no, because of monopoly, but you can say 30 or 40%.
Okay. So medical services.
Yes, another game changer. Yes. Another game changer.
Exclusive Ghanaian directors.
Yes.
The medical services are my sites. That's also same thing. Okay, so 25 out of the current 50 Ghanaian space.
Yes.
Okay.
And then
with the exception of the insurance and the financial.
It's a matter of time.
Yes, and then a few of them like the airborne base survey and others where we are still building capacity.
Yes.
Okay.
And then there are some other areas to where we preserve for Ghanaian incorporated companies, not necessarily citizens.
Okay.
So, for example, you have Intertech, you have AS Lab, you have what do you call SGS. These are labs that have been set up to test the samples. Okay. They are not owned by Ghanaians, except there's one Ghanaian who is trying to do a JV for an Australian, I think in Kumasi or so. But you find about 2 or so in Takwa. If they have come to set up here, what I need to do now is to say that certain types of assaying should be done in Ghana here.
Or encourage them to have Ghanaian participation in their companies.
Yes, Ghanaian participation. I mean, as I said, a Ghanaian has just picked up an application to register to provide assaying service. He's doing that with some Australians in Kumasi. But you see, why should you allow certain samples to be taken out? So I'm also advising SGS and what we call Intertech and Co. to install facilities that can treat or test lithium samples. Lithium. Because we are good by us. Okay, now there's a lot of exploration going on for lithium. They are taking them to South Africa, Australia, and Canada. So what SGS and Intertech and Co have to do is that they have to bring in additional testing equipment and install them. But I have to protect them now. So
because it requires investment.
Yes, so I've had a meeting with them. So all that they have to tell me that we have now deployed equipment and machinery that can do all kinds of certain types of testing for lithium. So protect us. Because once I protect them, they pay taxes, they had more metallurgists and chemists. So then I'll put on the list that these categories of assaying cannot be taken outside. So here, I don't care whether the company here is Ghanaian or foreign.
So they are incentivized to invest.
That is exactly the case. And we do that a lot for manufacturing.
All right. Okay. So, CEO.
So we're done now.
Yes, we're done now.
The next 2-3 editions, we'll now look at employment proper.
All right.
And the kind of skills that you need to get a job
into
now
industry.
at their mine.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So thank you very much, Mr. Martin Ayisi, CEO of the Minerals Commission, for joining us. It's been great as always. Thank you so very much.